Shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Alright guys, so I bought a backwards compatible PS3 from Goodwill, got it here in this box, and if you didn't know, Goodwill actually has an auction site, kind of like eBay, where you can bid on stuff, and so I got this from that auction site, cost about $163 after tax and shipping, and the one gotcha about this console is it's untested, at least I think it is. It wasn't super clear in the listing, but I'm assuming it's untested because most consoles you find on Goodwill are untested because they don't have the cords for them or the power supplies, that sort of thing. So we're going to open this thing up, check out the condition, hope it works, and yeah. So my one main concern is that it might have yellow light of death. It is, like I said, a backwards compatible PS3, and it's the OG one, the 20 gigabyte CECHB01, which is known for yellow light of death, which is really hard to come back from. You can kind of temporarily repair it, but it's never going to be the same, and so that is concerning, but we're going to hope and pray that it actually works without having to fix yellow light of death or anything. So let's see what's inside of this box. So before we open this up, hit that join button down below if you want to support the channel monetarily. You can do so for less than $1 a month. Let's go ahead and see what's inside of here. So alright, so we got a packing slip here, which actually shows a picture of it. And I didn't mention this, but Goodwill's pictures are kind of grainy, so I couldn't honestly tell how good of condition it was in. It looked decent, but didn't look great either. So CECHB01 console with 2 controllers. So yeah, it has 2 controllers, so worst case scenario, if this thing doesn't work, at least I get 2 controllers out of it. 152 plus tax and shipping. And yeah, here it is. So we got some packaging in here. It looks like we got a lot of bubble wrap, and that is the one thing I'll say about Goodwill, is they usually actually package their stuff pretty well, at least better than most people on eBay and GameStop. Because they actually put bubble wrap around their electronics, which I'd say is the biggest factor to packaging electronics in boxes. So yeah, let's go ahead and take this stuff out of here and we'll take a look at it. Alright guys, so we'll start with the controllers, and like I said, came with 2 of them. I'm not sure if they're DualShock 3 or 6-axis, but we're going to see. Alright, so here's controller number 1, and ooh, that thing is pretty dirty. The analog sticks are actually not bad, they are pretty grippy. Actually, feels like they have some sticky residue from something on them. I'm not sure what from, but it's pretty dirty, but all the buttons seem to work, so just a little bit of cleanup in this thing hopefully will be good to go. It is a DualShock 3, so that's good. Worth a little bit more, so we can clean this thing up and it'll probably be good to go as long as it connects to the console. So the second one looks pretty similar. Again, the joysticks or the analog sticks are not bad, but they do seem to have some kind of sticky residue on them. I'm not sure what from. The triggers seem good, buttons all seem good. You know, of course we'll have to plug it in and get some power to it, make sure it works, but I think a little bit of cleanup and this one will be okay as well. So, oh, except that I hear, you probably can't hear that, but I hear some plastic rattling around inside, so that's not a good sign. But yeah, let's take a look at this console now. Alright, so here's the console, and like I said, I liked that they actually used bubble wrap around this thing. If I bought this from GameStop, they would have used no bubble wrap at all, because that's just how they do. Alright, so here we go. We got the bottom first, and start with, the bottom doesn't look so great. It's got some tape residue on it. Somebody put a piece of tape on there at some point. It's pretty scratched up, to be honest. And here on the side, oh, that's a good sign. We actually have the warranty seal. Hopefully my camera is focusing on that, but we actually have the warranty seal. It looks pretty well intact, so that's a good sign. It means it has not been opened yet. Or I guess it doesn't 100% mean it hasn't been opened. Somebody could have opened this thing up and then applied the sticker back, but that's pretty difficult to do. And then, oh, the top cover is loose though. That's pretty typical with PS3s though. And then here on the back, as you can see, CECHB01. All the ports look okay. They look a little bit dirty, but they at least look to be intact. And we'll take a quick look at the sides. That side looks okay. This side, we already saw that side, looks okay as well. Now for the main attraction, the front of this thing. Alright, so here in the front we got 4 USB ports. Pretty dusty, but not surprised about that. Everything else looks okay. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say until we plug it in and see if it works, but top is pretty dusty as well. Pretty well scratched up as well. Not surprised there. Well, there we go, the top comes off. But yeah, I mean, I'll give you a closer up look once we test this thing out, but as you can see, it's not in great condition. It's pretty dusty, which is not a big deal. We can clean that off, but it's very well scratched up, which is not surprising. These things are really easy to scratch up, but we do have some hope since we have this warranty sticker. And I guess we can go ahead and take this hard drive cover off and see if there's actually a hard drive in there. Yep, there is one in there. Should be 20 gigs unless they replaced it with something at some point in time. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and plug this thing in, hope it works. If it has yellow light of death, I really hope it doesn't, but if it does, we might try to fix it, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, let's go ahead and plug this thing in and test it out. Alright guys, so here we are. I got our PS3, and as you can see, it's very dusty, very scratched up. But like I said, that's kind of expected. Got a lot of dust there in the corner. The one good thing is that this logo works properly. Basically, if you have it in vertical position, it goes like this. If you have it horizontal, it goes like this. And then, yeah, you can see your ports down here pretty dirty as well. Got our controllers. I'll show you a little bit closer up in the controllers. Pretty dirty, but we can clean those up, so we'll hope they work. But yeah, I didn't mention, but obviously it did not come with the HDMI cable or your power cable, but I have those plugged in now. I already have my own. Got those plugged in. Let's go ahead and flip the switch and hopefully get power. Okay, cool. So we have power, and now here comes the big test. Will this thing turn on? So 3, 2, 1. Please. Green light. Yes, we got a green light so far. Nothing on the screen yet, but we got a green light. Yes, let's go. Oh, I'm so happy. I was like 99% sure this thing was gonna red or yellow light of death on me, but cool. So let's go ahead and see if there's no game in there. There's a lot of good times I buy consoles like this and there's games stuck in there. But let's go ahead and try to plug one of these controllers in and hopefully they will charge up and work. Alright guys, so controller number 1, we are connected. Sorry, the focusing is kind of slow today. But let's go ahead and, it says last time the system was used it was not properly turned off. Not surprising, but here we go. Alright, cool. So it does seem to be booting up. Hopefully it comes back now. Alright, there it is. So it just has to basically check and restore the file system since it was not turned off properly last time, and then we'll see if it boots up. And since it has booted up, I do have a game to try, MotorStorm, so we'll plug that in a minute and hopefully that'll work. But man, I'm pretty hyped up that this thing actually turned on. I was really confident that it was just gonna give me a yellow light of death or something. So it did boot up. I selected user 1. We got user 1, user 2, and it's always interesting to see these old consoles and kind of see what people left on them. So first of all, we're going to go down to our system settings, wherever that is, and we're going to see what software version this is on, or firmware version. So we're on 4.41. Man, I think that's pretty old. Let me go ahead and search that real quick, but I'm pretty sure 4.41 is pretty old. So I looked it up, and 4.41 was released in 2013, which sounds like a long time ago, but we're only up to 4.88 now, I think, so it's actually not that old. I actually just realized that apparently you can jailbreak any fat PS3 now. I did not realize that. It used to have to be under a certain firmware version. But I actually just left this PS3 sitting here idling for about 30 minutes, and as the fans have ramped up a little bit, getting a little bit hot, but not terrible. Let's go ahead and try out a game. So obviously, as I said, there was no game in there already, which was a little bit surprising because there are a lot of times when I'll get consoles from Goodwill and there will already be a game in it. Hopefully the disk drive works. There we go. Seems to be taking in the disk okay. And now we shall see if it boots up. Oh, we actually got some, what is this? It's about time. Oh, we got some, we got an NBA 07 demo downloaded, and we have the Back to the Future Episode 1 downloaded. Cool. Alright, well, let's try MotorStorm and see if it works. Alright guys, so as you can see, the game is working. Took a while to load, which is pretty typical with MotorStorm on this console. Trying to play with one hand, so it's not going so well. But I'm going to test out this game for a little bit, make sure the console doesn't die on me or anything. And then we'll test out the second controller, make sure it works. Then we'll also test out the internet and stuff. Honestly, I don't want to play this thing for too long until I replace the thermal paste, because I'm sure it's all dried up and stuff and probably going to overheat pretty quickly. But yeah, let me go ahead and test out this game for a while, and then I'll come back. Alright guys, so I played MotorStorm for a little bit. Works fine. The PS3 actually is not ramped up super hard, so I'm kind of surprised by that. And I actually tried to connect my second controller, which seems to work fine so far. It's just charging up. We're using the first controller right now, and I just connected to the internet. Got that all connected and stuff. Debating whether I should do the firmware update or not. But one thing I want to take a look at first is I like to take a look at old save data. So let's go ahead and just take a look at what games this person played. So we got MotorStorm, Last of Us, Modern Warfare 3, FIFA 12, Assassin's Creed 2, Heavy Rain, Final Fantasy, 13, Rock Band 2, Half-Life 2, Orange Box, Resistance, MLB 2K7, and Gran Turismo HD Concept. So it looks like a lot of these games actually have not been, or it looks like this PS3 in general has not been played in a long time. Like if we go to the top, so the last time it looks like it was played was June 15th, 2013, which makes sense based on the update. 4.41 was from 2013, and Last of Us was from 2013, so it's always interesting seeing these consoles that have been kind of out of commission for 8 years now. I mean, this thing's been sitting around who knows where for 8 years. I mean, Goodwill got a hold of it, so, you know, who knows, might have been at somebody's like grandma's house or something, and they finally just decided to get rid of it and donated it to Goodwill. I don't know. It's always it's always interesting seeing a console's past. It'd be kind of cool if we could actually see the console's past in more details, but it is interesting to see the last game played, other than the one I just booted up, was 2013. And I actually just remembered that I need to test out PS2 and PS1 games as well, so we got Crash Bash to test out, and NFL Street, which is one of my favorite games from back in the day on the PS2 days. I was a PS2 guy. I played a lot of sports games back then, but especially the street games were really fun. But let's go ahead and just try to play a PS2 game, because I mean that's the main attraction of this console. You can buy a PS3 Slim, a PS3 Super Slim, but only the fat CE, CH, BO1, and AO1 and EO1 can play backwards compatible games, or they can play PS2 games. So let's go ahead and put in a PS2 game and make sure it works. Alright, so NFL Street, the OG, not the 2, not the 3, just the OG. It looks like this guy or girl has not played PS2 games on here before, because I don't see any save data for him. And here it is. Cool. Alright, it's booting up. I'll wait till it boots up and we'll make sure it works. Alright guys, so it looks like it's booting up and working, which is a good sign. Now the PS3 did just boot up, or did just ramp up like 2 levels in terms of the fan. If I do remember correctly, I think the PS2, the motion chip in there that runs the PS2 games, gets pretty hot, which makes sense as to why the fan just ramped up. I'm not going to call myself a PS3 expert, but that's what I remember reading a while back. But yeah, it looks like it's working fine. I'm honestly probably not going to play it for too long, because I don't want to stress it out and get yellow out of death before replacing the thermal paste and stuff. Honestly, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do the thermal paste myself and kind of open this up and clean it and then resell it, because guys, I don't need a PS3 backwards compatible PS3 right now. I have a PS2, a PS3 Slim, and that sort of thing. So I'll probably sell this on my website, gyrogaming.com, trying to decide if I'll clean it up and stuff before I sell it, or if I'll just sell it as is, and whoever buys it can go ahead and do the thermal paste and all that stuff. Let me know down below if you're interested. But yeah, let's go ahead and exit out of this, and we'll test out the PS1 game as well. Make sure that works. We might go ahead and just update to the latest firmware as well. And I'll actually go ahead and show you what happened when I connected to the internet. Well, I guess after we play the PS1 game, because it just booted up by itself. So we'll see if this works, and then I'll show you the internet settings. Alright guys, so Crash Bash for the PS1 is working. And so yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this console. Let me go ahead and show you the internet settings real quick. Alright, so network settings, I'm connected via cable, Ethernet cable. I'm like 99% sure the CECHBO1 does not have a wireless card in it. Let me just kind of show you my connection test. It obtained the IP address and got internet connection, but it did not connect to the PlayStation Network or anything past that, which makes sense since it's not on the latest firmware. We can't connect to the PlayStation Network. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to update. I think I'm going to leave it on 4.41 just because why not? I don't need to update right now. As you can see, it says down below, system software update is required. So yeah, it succeeds for obtaining the IP address and internet connection, which is good. And then PlayStation Network and all that other stuff does not test, because it's not actually connected to the PlayStation Network, since it's not updated to the latest piece of firmware. Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace gives you a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to easily create your website. You can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated, members-only content, and you can also manage your members, send communications, and leverage audience insights all in one easy-to-use platform. You can also use Squarespace extensions to manage inventory, promote products, and much more. You can even display posts from your social profiles on your website and vice versa. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/JacobR to save 10% off your first purchase. But alright guys, so I'm pretty pleased with this. I tested out both controllers. They seem to both work. Tested out PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. They all work. The fans are ramping up now, which is not a surprise because it's an old console. And as you guys saw, the warranty sticker is still intact. 20GB console, backwards compatible. And I'm going to sell it on my website, gyrogaming.com. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go ahead and clean this thing up and replace the thermal paste myself. Or I might just sell it as is and let you guys, whoever buys it, do all that stuff. And obviously it'll be priced accordingly. If I fix it up myself, it'll be a little bit more expensive than if I just leave it to whoever buys it. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. $163 for a backwards compatible OG PS3 with 2 controllers is actually a really good price. As long as this thing does not get the yellow out of death, which is why I'm trying to avoid playing it too much right now, because I don't want to stress it out until we really, clean up the insides and replace the thermal paste. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like down below and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel monetarily, hit that join button down below, and you can support the channel for less than $1 a month. Really helps me out, buy new consoles like this and do unboxings for you guys. And make sure to check out my website, gyrogaming.com, if you want to buy this console or other consoles. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.